Hey guys, how's it going? Shy Wager here. What is the best skill in Arc Raiders? What is the best skill tree to go for in average in Arc Raiders? In a game where you can't reset your tree until you prestige, do your expedition, wipe your whole progress, play for basically 3 months, it's very important to put your skills in the right places inside your tree. So today, I've got a mimic tree for you. I'm going to show you what, in my opinion, is the best tree in general. Before I get into it, we have to talk about what makes this game amazing, what is the best part of the game when it comes to Arc Raiders, and what is important when you're playing the game. In my opinion, it comes down to 3 things entirely, and you can see that in these trees. First off is the loot, right? Obviously, you're playing this game. When you get in the loot, it's kind of like your overall grade of how your run went. Now, the fun you have in the run as well is huge, and that'll play into the other 2 things I'm going to be talking about, but loot is very important. The speed at which you loot is important as well. So going for skills that make looting easier, make you not as vulnerable when you're looting, and make looting an overall better experience is important inside Arc Raiders. Second of all, the mobility in this game, the movement, some of the best you've seen inside the game. You should have the options to do whatever you can when you're playing. Movement is also one of the things that separates the good players from the bad players. That's the 1 versus the 3 and come out on top a lot of the time. So mobility, movement is huge as well. The last thing is kind of, in my opinion, kind of towards the conditioning line in a sense, but the weight and the noise and kind of overall how much you're allowed to play the game. The game has a cap on how much you can do, and the more weight you can carry in general inside the game means you get more loot, you can stay more mobile. Weight is a very big thing that I think is very important to start to pay attention to. You don't have things like in Tarkov where you have to Jenga your pieces to mix match where they are in your inventory. You kind of have just weight that limits how much you can carry. So weight is the big thing. You can break that apart of loot and say it's all just basically loot and mobility in general inside Arc Raiders. But let's tap in with these 3 pillars: loot, movement, and weight, and see what we can do in how we play. So first off, I think the most important thing on top of everything, I said number 1 was loot. When you're first starting off in Arc Raiders, I would go towards the mobility tab. You put 1 point in Nimble Climber to get access to the entire tree itself, and by level 11 you should just be finished in the mobility tree. In my opinion, you're putting 5 points both into Marathon Runner, into Youthful Lungs. In my opinion, I would actually go for like 1 point in Nimble Climber, 1 in Marathon Runner, max out Youthful Lungs first, have more stamina to use, like especially when you're rolling a lot and things like that. Moving around is not, kind of put into the rolling category, put into the when you're static fighting category. Your stamina is in general. Have more stamina in general, and then make sure that when you're running, your stamina doesn't cost a lot. Stop here inside mobility. Now, again, I think there are no wrong answers when it comes to the skill tree. You could go max mobility, max conditioning, still have a very good time, still be big chilling, still have an amazing way to play the game, and probably have more fun than other people because you have access to vaulting not costing stamina, being an absolute phenom. And that's the other thing, right? Once we play this game for years, there will be an option to respec your tree. You know what I mean? Every single time you do a wipe, you're allowed to go again. You're allowed to get more skill points. But for now, in your first run, I would recommend stopping here at 11 mobility. You will see why. It just gives you access to the stamina you need to start to traverse these maps, the stamina you need so you don't have to take in 20 adrenaline shots into raids. You only ever maybe need 5 for the start, and then again when you're over encumbered. But a lot of these extra things afterwards are a little bit more freestyly, a little bit more, man, I really want to take into mobility, and I just care about the mobility. The other stuff I'm about to suggest to you is 10 times more worth it, and I'll tell you why we can't go more in the mobility tree because of how deep it is inside survival. The most blessing thing about this 11 is that you only need the first 2 to have the advantage inside mobility. Some of this other stuff, like for survival specifically, security breach is so far away, you need more of an investment in survival, which means you can't go as much in mobility because we're also going to be going conditioning. But for survival, I would put 1 point in Agile Croucher for now, get some Looter's Instincts, Silent Scavenger, and then after this, when you're at this point, look at what is more worth to you out of these 3. The plan for this right now is to go right up the left line, all the way to security breach if we can. So for me, movement speed while crouching is increased. You don't notice it too much, but if you play a lot of Buried City, if you're sneaking up on teams or moving up staircases, especially if you're playing inside pharmacy, you're playing inside different places, it's really good to have this maxed out. At the same time, I kind of like Looter's Instincts as well, because we talked about one of the things being loot and how long it takes to loot, not being vulnerable by your loot. This is one of the most underrated things for looting stacked bodies. It's one of the most underrated things for making sure you are not in the most weak state possible, not being able to see anything around you and looting at the same time. You clear lockers 10 times faster. It's so much fun. Silent Scavenger can be like the last option here, because in general, like unless you're playing a lot of solos, the looting noise specifically doesn't matter too much. When it gets maxed, it's a nice buff, but I would either rush Agile or rush Looter's Instincts and then rush Scavenger. What I think specifically did is I rushed Looter's Instincts first. Once you have the 15 available in here, your 16th point will be put into Suffer in Silence. When critically hurt, your movement makes less noise. Really good for squad gameplay to keep yourself alive, for your teammates to res you so people don't know where you are. Or like when you do get low, if you're getting chased down and you're by yourself. Really good for solos as well, to be able to run away or to be able to just wait behind a wall and let someone pass you once you get hurt as well. This perk works really well too with the blue tactical backpack that drops a smoke when your shield goes down. So again, a lot of the stuff you're going to be using in game, I think that's the best blue backpack in general, next to the looting backpack, because it allows medium shields. But this is one of the perks that just helps you play the game overall and keeps you alive for a little bit longer when it comes to information. After this, we talked about weight being a limiter on how much fun you can have in this game, how much loot you can take out in this game. Broad Shoulders, I think, is one of the best perks in the entire game for a multitude of reasons. Now, I'll tell you in 1 second after I tell you to get Looter's Luck as well. But from this point, after hitting both of these, I would max out Broad Shoulders as fast as possible. Now, Broad Shoulders is really good because it increases the max weight you can carry. That means if you're actually over max weight sometimes, like your over encumbrance won't kick in yet. And this is really good, not just for your kits, but it applies to free kits too. I gotta go full screen for it. Let me just tell you, it applies to free kits. So now your free kits are getting more value. The thing that's balanced, right? The devs have specifically balanced the free kits around a certain value. Now those kits are getting more value. Now you're getting more value no matter where you are inside raids. It's really, really good. Carry the extra gun. Carry that extra blueprint that you need. Carry that extra material. Past that, Looter's Luck. Now, let me explain this, because the first time some people read this, they read it incorrectly, at least on my friends list, and these are smart people. People thought that Looter's Luck would actually give you more luck while looting. They didn't really read the description that well. Or like you're getting twice as many items per locker, which then also increases your luck, because if you're getting, if a 3-item locker is giving you 4, 5, or 6 items, then you're getting more rolls, you'll get better items. No, what Looter's Luck does is every point you put into it, you'll get a chance, just a little bit of a chance, to have an item get cleared the same time you clear another item. So 2 items being revealed as you're clearing. In my opinion, it just buffs up Looter's Instincts a little bit. These two go hand in hand. It is still really good at keeping you not in a vulnerable state. There'll be times where I have friends who are scaling this mobility tree because they love PvP, scaling conditioning because they love the idea of playing solos and getting out even if they are downed the entire time. They'll walk like 30 minutes to an extractor. But for me, when I tap a body, the number one thing they see is me tapping in, 3 seconds looting, coming out, because my Looter's Luck is triggering, my Looter's Instincts is clearing everything. It's a really good perk to just make sure speed is of the essence. And you've seen when things are high paced, high octane, speed is needed when you're looting the min-max so you can fight, so your eyes can be on the prize. A security breach needs 10 more points, which means you do have to kind of augment where we're going. And I've done something a little bit more interesting. A lot of people just go down this bottom right path, ignore things in general. I like having a percentage of everything. I come from like the old days of League where we had like 1% crit quintessences. Anyways, that'll go over a lot of people's heads. Revitalizing Squat is really good for stamina inside fights, stamina in general if you need to get going. In round crafting as well, there's a lot of one-off perks inside survival, which is really good. You don't have to pour in all 5. I like getting good as new as well. It makes it so that sometimes if you want to jump off a roof and take damage, pop a bandage, your stamina is also being regen, and you end up having like an adrenaline shot for free off a bandage. You can find certain ways on certain maps to kind of cheese this and get more stamina for a lack of health. Once you have a point in 2 or even just a few points in revitalizing Squat, I like going 1 point in the Traveling Tinkerer, because you can craft really cool things like Raider hatch keys, fruit mixes on the fly that can up your health and stamina. And then I just put in 1 point into Raider scraps. A lot of people skip this perk entirely. but it's just in case I do find raider scraps somewhere and I get more value out of them. It's just nice to have that percentage if that's the case, and it'll give you things like a raider hatch key. It'll give you things like those additional items you see inside Traveling Tinkerer. Stubborn Mule, also really good. And 3 Deep Breaths, just have a point in all of them. The question is, do you want more points in Revitalizing Squat to get your stamina up? Do you want more points in Stubborn Mule to make sure that if you are over encumbered, your stamina isn't as affected? I found that I already have adrenaline shots a lot of the times I'm in Stubborn Mule and I choose to go here. If I'm also over encumbered, I'm usually very close to where the extraction is, or I've already planned for being over encumbered. It's already too late into the raid. 3 Deep Breaths, genuinely, I don't know how this ability works. All I know is if I roll and my stamina's gone, maybe my stamina comes back better. That's what is defined as an ability. No clue. Maybe it's an ability from some of these other trees that makes things work. I just have a point in it. If you don't want to put a point in it, it's totally fine. I just like specking out everywhere. You get your 36 point in Revitalizing Squat or Stubborn Mule, whatever it is. I spec 4 in Revitalizing. You can take 1 out of 3 Deep Breaths and make it 5 if you want to get that stamina back. Security Breach. One of the best things in the game that fully unlocks the loot for you inside this game. Your routes used to be revolving around weapon crates. Your routes used to be in hotspots. Your routes now change. Buried City becomes an even more intense map. Spaceport opens up the left side of the map that you were avoiding, just kind of, you know, going to control tower offices 24/7, fighting over there near container. Now you're going into the arrival facility. Now you're going into security towers and understanding the fights that are happening there with purple weapons 24/7. I feel like once I opened up Security Breach and I started going for these security lockers, the game went to a harder level in general with the people that have this right now. Because obviously the only people that have Security Breach are probably the no-lifers, the streamers just like me, who are locking in and playing this game. But Security Breach basically gives you access to a locker that allows you to get rolls for guaranteed light gun parts, medium gun parts, heavy gun parts, grenades, ammunition, and then the chance of blueprints, pink weapons. Always a guaranteed weapon in there. It might be a Berletta sometimes, but for me, I think more than 60-70% of the time I'm rolling pinks, and if it's a night raid, I am almost guaranteeing pinks, at least the wolf pack, or purples, I guess some people might call them pinks. I'm guaranteeing epic loot no matter what, which is very important for the end game inside Arc Raiders. If you guys aren't aware, I'll drop some knowledge on you now. It's in another video that I also made about expeditions. But after you're done your expedition, to get your bonus points when you end up wiping in December, you will have to have a high value inventory. The higher value your inventory is, the more points are up for grabs for your skill tree. So if you're just wiping with like maybe 5 purple items and not too big of a stash, you might not get all 5 skill points next season. Security lockers make it feel that also, you know, the worst part about this game, losing weapons, doesn't matter. I go in, Bobcat, dead, don't care. Next game I'll be at a security locker. I'll walk out with 3 Bobcats. Things are gonna be fine. Things are gonna be totally fine. It also changes our free raids completely as well. We can carry more going in there. We have the stamina to run there. When we reach the locker, my Pharaoh 1 heavy ammunition loadout turns into a Pharaoh 1 with a backup of a Bobcat. Pharaoh 1 with a backup of a Volcano. Pharaoh 1, but now I'm taking out, you know, Rocketeers with my wolf pack, getting out with some nice loot. We're taking out Bombardiers if we want to, walk around the Security Breach and lockers. So I think the best perk in the game so far, just to be able to unlock and play the game on your own pace, not be worried about death, because you can always do a solo money run, or you can always do a squad money run with Security Breaches, and it changes the way that every map is played and where the most important POIs are now. After this, I'm going to talk about getting up to about level 60 and what's needed, and then you can kind of, you know, basically freestyle over to level 75, freestyle the rest of your points. But in my opinion, going used to the weight, and honestly even specking into this while you're first using that mobility tree, so maybe starting off with Nimble Climber, then used to the weight, then going this is important. I put myself personally a point in conditioning just in this one to make my character slightly faster. But after used to the weight, gentle pressure, proficient prior, maxed out proficient prior. We talked about looting being a thing we want to make sure is important and is helped inside the game. Proficient prior just makes it so that breaching is so fast. It's like searching a locker. It gets crazy. And hey, what is this? He lets you, Security Breach lets you breach security lockers. So this perk is just helping what your end game goal is going to be once you have enough points to get put into Security Breach. Very important. After that, we're trying to unlock Unburdened Roll here. So you go max up in a gentle pressure, you go max up in the use of the weight. Unburdened roll, we are only getting this one. It doesn't matter that much, but it's really nice in terms of survivability. It just complements the game entirely. If you are in a fight, you get a free dodge roll, which is really, really nice. We're trying to just go over to a little extra, which again is just a 1-pointer, and then loaded arms is where we're ending this one. The rest of the points for you when it comes to 75 is up to you, but up to 66, basically all the way up to 66, you'll get like 9 points, I guess, of freestyle stuff if you want to go up mobility more. But this is one of the best things in the game because your loaded weapon is going to weigh less a little bit. You'll be able to carry more loot. You'll be able to breach more lockers. You'll be able to pick some more stuff up. You're big chilling. Also, breaching an object generates resources is really good for breaching security lockers, breaching half the stuff in the game. And now your breaching is quieter as well. You have the stamina to be able to go and breach. You're playing for loot. You're playing to be mobile. You're playing so that weight doesn't actually limit you in how much you can take out of a raid. You can be more greedy, you can find better loot, and you can have the stamina to keep up with the rest of the server. There are no other perks over here that'll make you faster, longer, in a more impactful way past 11 mobility. Once you have these perks, you're chilling. Yeah, people might be able to slide more than you. People might be able to fall from heights better than you. But when it comes to sprinting across the map, when it comes to the things that matter, 11 mobility is fine. You need 11 mobility to just be upkept and have the same kind of overall health bar and resources as everyone else in the game. So go for this first. Then go for security breach in the way I just taught you. Make sure you spec into having better stamina or working on stubborn mule if you want, whichever kind of tickles your fancy. If you found out something about 3D breast and I don't know about it, if Raider Scraps is really what you like, go for it. But I would just recommend revitalizing SWAT. You could even dish 3D breast and go for 5. Security breach is important. And then help yourself breaching. Help yourself have less weight. It's all about making yourself weigh less. It's all about moving better. It's all about getting better loot. And that is the entire game. That is my skill tree. I believe right now I just started. I'm like level 40 something or almost level 50. So I just started on the prior right now. I'm not even like fully over here. Yeah, I'm around 50, 54. So we're just on proficient prior. But if you want to take a screenshot, if you want to go for it, you're setting up all 5 on both, basically on both sides here. And you're just going down the middle tree to get this weapon. After this, do whatever you want. Diffuse mines if you want to. Fly SWAT if you want to. You're going to need a lot more points and conditioning. I don't even think you can get there. I would honestly probably get Minesweeper because it's a big perk and then go up mobility, but that's a conversation for a different day. If you like what you saw right now, if it gave you a little bit more clarity on why we're doing things and what is important inside the skill tree, please leave a like down below. Please leave a comment. If you've already gone more than 11 points in mobility, don't worry. If you're not going to be able to hit those conditioning stats like, you know, a lot of other people might be able to, that's okay. Just make sure you have enough points to hit survival, have around 36 points available or 37 points available so you can lock into survival so you can get that security breach. You should have enough. There's a little bit of leeway unless you're already going down the wrong path. Totally fine. Once the next expedition happens, you're going to be able to reset. Things will be all good. Again, if you have any feedback or if you think differently, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.